Hi guys, it's Jody from Arjet Creations. I'm back again today. I've been away for a little bit. Sorry, I wasn't feeling 100% and I'm just finally now getting back to my craft table. So I've missed a couple of days, but I'm hoping to catch up over Christmas. So I hope all of you are doing fine and good and healthy, and I hope you're looking forward to the upcoming holidays. So today I thought what I would do is I would work on making a set similar to the one I have here in front of me, that's made out of one 12 by 12 piece of paper cardstock, and it kind of gives you a bunch of different elements. So if I can just maybe clear a couple of these off, I'll show you, and then we'll work through what we're going to do. So the first one I have here is a little pocket. I've made a pocket, and then there's just two little tags that go with it. I've backed these, and so my intention would be that these tags could go in this little pocket. That will give you one element for a journal. And then there's this element here that has a large tag. Again, it's backed, and then it's got this pocket that would fit over top, and it's got a journaling card here. So that's the second element for a page. Then we just have another pocket. This one's a little bit plainer, and again, just with some dyed paper on the back. Now I've decorated all of these with different scrappy embellishments that I've made. Some of them you might have seen me make in other videos. Others are just ones I've made. This last one is just a little corner tuck, and again a little tag that goes behind it. So this is what I'm going to try and make today. We'll see how fast we can get it done. I won't back them or sew them on camera because that'll just take too long. But let's see how far we can get just getting the bases done and decorated. So my desk is a disaster here. I'm going to try and get her straightened off, and I'm going to carefully try and bring over my paper cutter. Not sure how much of that will be in frame, but I'll try and get as much as it is. So I'm going to try this piece of paper. It's one that I probably wouldn't use for a lot of things. It's pretty busy, although it is just text. It's got a very neutral background, so I think that'll be good. And it's also got a strip here that we can utilize. So this piece of paper is from this collection. I don't know if you can see the name, but it's 49 and Market Vintage Artistry Essentials, 12 by 12 pack. And I got it probably about 6 months ago, so I don't know if it's still available. I'm assuming it could be, but that's the paper pack that I'm using. Okay, so I think, am I on a steady surface here? I'm going to bring our paper back in, and the first thing I'm going to do is carefully remove this strip. Oh, and actually before I go on, I wanted to show you my leftover pieces of paper from my last 12 by 12. This is what I had left over. So it was my intention originally to make a couple of embellishments with these two little pieces and a paper ruffle with these, and probably use this one on this piece, kind of like this. But I think I've decided to keep them because I'm hoping that if I do 3 or 4 sets and end up with little scraps like this, I'll be able to replenish some of my scrappy embellishments that I'm going to be using. So that's why I've put that aside, and I'm assuming that this strip that I'm cutting off here will likely go into that pile. Okay, so I'm just going to set this aside. Now I've got my piece of paper cut down to 12 by 12. I'm going to ensure that I have the paper upright, and I'm going to start from here. So I don't, like I said, I'm not sure if you can see it all. I'm hoping you can. but I'm going to start by cutting a strip at 2.5 inches. This is going to give us some tags. So the first tag I'm going to cut at 5 inches. So I'm just going to see, can I push it all the way up here and have you see it? So I can have a tag like that, or if I flip it around, I can have a tag like that. I think I'm going to try and keep the butterfly. So I'm going to cut this down at 5. Then I'm going to take 1/2 inch off of here to make it 2 inches wide. And I'm going to cut it in half for 2 small tags. And I think I'll take this part off. Okay. So this is going to give us another strip. I'm going to set it aside. Now these are going to be cut at, so we got 12. They're set, so it should be 7 inches, so 3.5 inches, and that should give us our tags. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a tendency to get myself confused. So as soon as I can find my corner chomper, if I can find it, my little thing, I'm going to cut my corners. Now, it seems to be missing, so never fails when you do a video, something like this happens, where you just have it. And then, oh, there it is. Found it. Okay, so I'm going to get my scissors. And this is just a credit card that I have cut down. And I'm going to clip the corners. I want them on the smallest side. And I'm just doing this because then I know these are my tags. And I'll do that with all 3. And then we'll move on. So hopefully I'm in frame here. I find this easy to cut my corners, and it makes them relatively even. So, like I said, each one's cut at a slightly different angle. Okay, so now we're just going to put these tags aside, clear away that garbage, and we'll move on to the next bit. So we'll bring our paper back up here. So the next thing I want to do, I want to make my pockets. So I'm going to cut them 3 inches, and I'll take 3 inches off the top because I want to try and keep that butterfly. We'll see. So 3 inches. And again, this should be, we took 2.5 off, so it's 9.5. So I think it's 4 3/4. So there's 4.5. That's 4 3/4. Fortunately, I'm going to chop off my bird a little bit. And then there's our pockets. And they are pretty much the same size. So I don't forget that they're pockets, I'm going to immediately do my little divot, and I'm going to get my bigger one, I think. One slightly smaller than the other. So we'll line that up as best as we can. Okay. we'll just take those out. So now we know we have our pockets. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to cut this down at 6 inches. So we'll just cut that down, and it doesn't seem right. It's not right. It's supposed to be 4.5 inches. So this is where you need to get creative so we don't waste our paper. The idea is to make as much as you can with one piece of paper. So we're going to have to switch things up now that I've made a little bit of a boo-boo. I want it 6 inches tall. And then I'm going to cut it at an angle to make my pocket. And this is going to give me a corner pocket here, and either we can do a corner pocket this way, or we can turn it around and go this way. So we'll decide on that later. So there's 2 tucks there. So now we got two pockets, a tuck and a pocket, and I've got some leftovers here. So I'm gonna bring these back over. I like to try and think these through. So I don't know if these are all gonna be in your line of sight, but we have 4 pockets here, and we got 3 tags. So I kind of think I want those 2 tags there. I want a little tag in here, probably. So we have this piece here. This could make another tag for this piece because we can use the back. So I'm going to cut this so I know that I'm going to do this one as a tag as well. And I think I'm going to use the back side of it, but you never know, so I'm just going to make sure that it'll work with either side. Okay. So those ones all have matching bits. Now for this one, we want a larger tag. And this is, if you remember, this is 6 inches, so we'll probably cut this at 7. So that's going to give us a really big, nice big tag. And I always like to do a double tuck here, and then we can put this in here as a journaling card. And it will most likely be this way. So if this is 4.5, we're going to cut this one at 4.5. And that's going to make a little pocket. We're going to cut our tag down here. I'll probably use a little bit bigger of a corner this time. Sorry, I'm just going off screen, guys, just to be able to get that at the right angle. Didn't quite get. Okay, so this is going to be a huge take. So that leaves us, oh, this is going to be the journaling card. So really that leaves us with this piece and these other two pieces. So we could possibly do something with them to make a side tuck. We'll decide that at the end. So in the meantime, I'm going to carefully move this aside. Check to see how we're doing for time. We're 15 minutes in. And then we're going to get going. So if we bring our pieces over, we're going to start, I think we'll start with the big piece. So this is what we have so far. And we have to decide which way we want it. And I thought we had, yes, we have this other little piece, which may not work in there because these papers are so similar. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring over some lace. This is different than the lace I used before, but I'm thinking that this pink lace would actually look really pretty on here. And if I bring over some of my scrappy embellishments, you're not going to be able to see all of these, but there's a lot of pinks in them. So I think I'm going to use this lace. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is get this lace glued down, so then that way we'll have a better idea of what we're going to do. Now, I was thinking of using my Tim Holtz Vintage Photo to ink the edges, but if I'm going with this pink, I'm thinking that I might go with a different color. So if you just give me a second, I'm going to pop over to my drawer, and I think I'm going to try and see if I can get one of my pink inks, and we'll see how that's going to work. So I'll be right back. All right, I've got this one. It is the Tim Holtz Worn Lipstick. So I'm just going to take my little ink pad here and I'm going to exchange it. And I'm going to just test it. I'm going to test it actually on that scrap piece we had to see. See what it looks like. So I think it gives it a nice pink hue, and I think it'll work nicely with that ink. Okay, or with that lace. So we're going to set that aside for just half a second. Again, I think it'll work with the pieces I have in my embellishments. So we're going to get on with it then. We're going to move the tag out of the way so we don't get it inky. We're going to bring on a piece of paper just so that I don't get glue everywhere. And I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to ink up. I'm going to ink up first and then do the Fabri-Tac. Whoops. I'm glad I started on this end because I did get that a little heavy, but that lace will cover it. So what I should have said, which I haven't, is that I've made a decision as I was looking at things that I'm going to keep the large tag with the back side because I like the look of it behind here. So I am going to go ahead and use this side. I'm just going to just lightly kind of go over it just to give it a little bit of a pink hue. Not much, you'll barely even notice it. And I might end up going over some of it with some vintage photo at the end if I find that this pink is brighter than what I had anticipated. So actually, while I'm doing that, I will also do this side. To just go like that. Okay. Now we're ready for the lace. I'm going to very gently put some glue down this side. I am going to stitch, like I said, I'll stitch off screen, so I don't have to bore you guys with that. But I do want to have some of that. So I'm just going to lay it on. I'm going to cut this end. I just want to give myself a little extra. I'll trim it off once it's dried a little bit. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got it on somewhat straight. And then I'm going to put that aside to dry. Now we're going to do the same with this piece. Put on the glue. And lay it on. All right. So now that'll give you a better idea of what the piece will look like. And then we'll have this out the top. We'll have to decide what we're gonna do with this piece. Okay. So we're gonna put this aside to let it dry. And we can start looking at this. So with this, I want to bring in my scrappy embellishments, and I'll see what I want to do. I really like the shape of this one here. I think it needs to be a little bit larger, but I do like that shape. So I'm going to continue to go through my box and see what we have here and see if we can find one that we can use here. So these are a little bit smaller, so I'm going to put those aside for just yet, and we'll see. Here's another one. Again, I quite like it, but I wish I had something a little bit bigger. We could go with something like that. I want to kind of keep with the pink theme. So this one is quite a bit bigger. But then it almost cuts the tag in thirds. Got some blue ones here. I wish I had something taller. So we might have to make something. I don't think I'm gonna have anything in the shape I want. I really do want something that shape for this tag. I just think it works. And I want the biggest one. This one needs to be shifted over a little bit more so it doesn't work quite as well. I think those are all the ones I have really. So I'm gonna go with something like this. So far this is the biggest. That is the biggest. It makes for a simple tag. I don't mind it. And if we bring this back over, you want to kind of poke that up like that. So then what are we going to do at the bottom? Somewhere, oh, right here, I have these. These are just little strips I've done up. A lot of them are in the same papers. I think that makes it too busy. So, do like that. I think I'm going to set this aside and decide what to do with it after, because I'm struggling. So we'll put that aside. In the meantime, we're going to bring this over and finish it because now it should be dry enough. I'm going to clip off the excess lace. And here I'm going to go straight up. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully I'm on screen. So it gives us a nice finish. And again, I will be stitching these. So that'll help, but I'm gonna want to stitch along this top here, so I think I'll hold off. Maybe I don't want to stitch around there. No, you know what? It's really sturdy, so I'm going to glue around the edges and get that done, and then we can say at least we got something together in case the rest of this doesn't go to plan. I'm just going to use a little bit of my tacky glue. Like I said, we will be stitching. So I'm not too concerned about it not holding. Just need to hold it for just a little while I'm stitching it. Okay, so make sure we got it square. And we might want to come back and we might want to do something with this pocket. But I don't have the right colors currently. And something small enough. Okay. Upwards and onwards. We got 2 little tags. Let's work on these ones. Where's my little tag? One of them is going to go in this tuck. one of them's gonna go in the pocket. So we kind of got to decide how we're going to do this. All right, so let's start again. Again, I'm looking for the pink colors, and now I want something smaller. And the first thing I'm going to do is ink these up so that we have a feel for what we're getting. This pocket will also have lace on it, I'm assuming, so we could have done that. But I just want to have an idea for the tags. So because there's two of these tags, I think I'll do one on each side. The other tag, because it's got a busy background, I will have to back, but I will have to back them both. All right. So now we're looking for smaller little pieces. And I still got them pretty big. Maybe we should bring in the tall tag. Maybe we should bring in all 4 tags, actually, to kind of have an idea of what they might look like. If we keep them. This is what I do. I just kind of play and see what I like. Kind of like that one. And that's blue, so I don't want blue. I find this background really hard to work with. So, kind of glad I'm challenging myself to get it over with. So I'm just not sure. I'd really like something like this to work on this side. But I'm finding it's a little bit too busy. Maybe it's too white. I don't like it. So I think we're gonna go this way. So might be all of our tags going this way. So I need little ones I obviously don't do enough little ones. I like that, but it's purple, it's the wrong color. These are all really big. You see, you can never have enough of these because you use them up so quickly. Oh, what's this? What's this? Okay, that one works. Okay, I'm just gonna put these off to the side again because we're still not finished with them and I'm running out. See if any of these work on the other side. What do you guys think? I don't like it. I really don't like it. So if I don't like it, we are going to go with the other sides here. All right, I'm gonna put the two bigger ones aside. I'm gonna get my ink out again. I'm not gonna worry about inking the back because I am going to do something with it. I'll have to cover it in some paper. I do have some pink hand-dyed paper that I might use. All right, so these are the ones I made with my pink handmade paper. I also have my hand dyed. I'm going to find a word for here, I think. I do have all these little words here, but I don't know if I have any that will work. I want something like delight. Prefer a different word, but I don't want airmail. So I need to do up some more words, I guess, as well. So this one says dream. That's in a little tag shape. So that one might be our best. So these are all little words that I stamped mostly on papers that I had done on the jelly plate. And I've been meaning to emboss them to make them shiny, and I haven't had a chance to do that. But I'll show you what they look like shiny once I get them put away. That might be a project for this evening, is to get some of these done, because if they're done, then I use them. Like, I'm going to use this one not finished because I'm not going to pull out the embossing gun and embossing powders to do one. But this can show you, I don't know if you can pick it up, but that's what they look like when they're done. They're glossy. Okay, so those aren't too bad. There is going to be stitching around them, so that will help. Just don't know whether I want this to hang down like that. No. So I'll do that. This one needs something behind it. Just peeking to see what I have around me. The easiest I have is some music paper, so let's see if I can get a piece of that. It may or may not work. It's pretty coffee dyed, and I'm not convinced 100% that the coffee dye will work. And it's not working. Okay, so what are we gonna do for plan B? Plan B. What to do, what to do, what to do. I wonder, because we don't need much. We need very little, because when I stitch around it, particularly if I go with a dark brown, it's gonna make a difference. So I'm thinking maybe we just do some stamping. Just some really light stamping. So let me get the stamp here. Do I have it upside down? I think I do. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that, and I'm gonna hope that the stitching will work around it, and if not, I might have to come in and put a little butterfly like this one here. So we're gonna get that glued down. I'm gonna start with this tag. I'm using my tacky glue because this is on cardstock. I'm gonna get that glued down, and then I'll do the same here. Want that overlap just a little bit. Now, if I decide that it's not right, I can clip off a little bit more and reshape it and just have a slightly shorter tag. Okay, so there's tag 1. Tag 2 also needs something. I think it's needing a something longer. Just looking at what I have for my scraps aside here. It's needing something down the edge. don't know which way it needs it. I'm going to ink this up. First, I'm gonna put my glue away so we don't have an issue with it not coming out. I'm going to ink this up down the edges. Then I'm going to glue it down. Okay. I get it straight. And we'll clip that off. Give it a little bit of an ink. That is very thick paper. That is, what is that? Stamperia. So you can see the thickness there. All right, so that helped a little bit. Any chance we can fit just a little more underneath there? That could work. Okay. I'm going to ink it, and then we're going to glue it, and we're going to hope that it works. Sometimes these projects come along so quickly, like I did the one that I showed you at the beginning of the video. It probably took me an hour tops. And then sometimes you have ones that prove to be a little bit trickier, such as this one. And I honestly think it comes down to the paper. But I knew I'd struggle with this paper. I love it when other people use it. I just can't get it right. All right. So I'm just gonna glue that on there. Do I want to glue it on there, or do I want to stitch down there first? I'm going to hold off on doing this because I'm thinking I might do a zigzag stitch down here just to give it a little bit of texture, possibly along here to tie those two together, and then a straight stitch around the outside. So I'm happy with this one. I'm still not happy with this one. This one needs some more work. I'm not quite sure what it needs, but I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with that stamping. It's upside down. Okay, so today is proving to be a little bit more difficult. That's okay though. That's what happens. So let's see if we can at least get one of these done before we turn off the camera. I'm going to ink this up good around the edges. Now the other thing that I'm going to have issues with is that I don't have a lot of these pieces that go this way. So that's going to be a challenge. I'm also thinking that this much white is going to be a challenge. So let's just see if there's anything that's going to work. And I honestly don't think there's going to be. Even if they went that way. Okay, so those are not going to work. What else do we have? I'm thinking that it's going to be time to turn off the camera. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and make some more pieces. I do have these ones, but again, they're all the wrong direction. But now that I'm looking at it, look at this. That could be kind of pretty. That could be kind of pretty with a little bit more white lace behind it. Let me see if I can find a piece. Maybe even something like this. No, that's not going to work. This is going to be too thick. I need something. Let me reach over here just to put behind that pink so that it stands out. Something like that. If I got a bigger piece of this. So it comes down this way, you know? So that's a possibility. Because I do like that. But you do need something behind there. Okay, well guys, I think that's it for today. I'm gonna go back to my drawing board and I'm going to make some scrappy embellishments like these ones, but I am going to make them horizontal this way so that they can fit our pockets and have the right colors. So I'll go back, see what I can come up with, and then maybe meet you back here next time. So have a great day, guys. Bye now.